Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and it's time for a hilarious standard deck tech. New standard is looking real fun, and it feels like the right time for some rogue action. If you like Izzet decks, this tech is for you. If you like mill decks, this tech is definitely for you. If you like Sphinx's tutelage, oh yeah, this tech for you. If you enjoy our deck tech series and want more videos like this, make sure to hit that like button, helps out a lot. Alright, Blue-Red Tutelage is a deck designed around drawing and discarding cards. We're talking about straight up abusing madness to no end. Don't worry, you'll see how. This deck's awesome. Let's get the mana base out of the way first. Now this is a 2-color deck, which means the mana is pretty consistent. We're running 4 Wandering Fumarole, 4 Shivan Reef, and 2 Highland Lake for our dual lands. We're also running 4 Drownyard Temple because again, madness is a thing and we need discard fodder just in case. The temple is great for that. Add in 6 islands and 6 mountains and boom, you got the 26 land mana base. This deck is mainly spells, as you might have guessed, so we'll start there. Let's begin with the namesake card Sphinx's Tutelage, a must-needed playset. This is your win condition, this is your mill engine. This is what your deck is built to do. You draw a buttload of cards, your opponent mills everything, you win. Gotta play the Tutelage as a 4-of or there's no point in playing the deck at all. So how are we going to draw a bunch of cards? We have ways. For Oath of Jace, not because of any type of Planeswalker synergy, but more because it's a 3-mana draw 3 discard 2 spell. 3 triggers from the tutelage, couple of madness opportunities, it's good stuff. We're also running 3 Magmatic Insight and 4 Tormenting Voice. This is the real draw engine in the deck. Tormenting Voice lets us discard to madness if we want and replace our draw field in our hand. Magmatic Insight has amazing synergy with Drownyard Temple, allowing us to discard the land card and just bring it to the battlefield later. Both of these cards, again, triggering Sphinx's tutelage like a boss and drawing through our deck even faster. To get our engine online, we're going to need time, sometimes a lot of time. We have a really aggressive removal package. 4 Fiery Impulse, 3 Fiery Temper, 2 Lightning Axe, and 2 Kozilek's Return. Since our deck has 27 spells, Spell Mastery is a joke to enable. Fiery Impulse is a bolt against a creature more often than not. Fiery Temper is our best use of madness, becoming a lightning bolt of its own. Lightning Axe will often discard a land card, possibly a temple or maybe even a Fiery Temper to deal 5 damage to any creature, essentially taking down most anything in the format, minus some huge Eldrazi. And Kozilek's Return is a direct answer to the massive amount of creature-based strategies coming at us. We can't trigger the graveyard ability, but it's fine. Pyroclasm will do nicely. More removal's always good. The last bit of tech we have in the spell package is a 1 of Send to Sleep. Not technically a fog, but it acts a lot like one. If you have Spell Mastery, 2 fog sometimes. The card is decent, but it doesn't filter through your deck or remove creatures, it simply gives you another turn. Sometimes that's great, but I'm finding more removal is better. It's possible this shouldn't even be in the deck anymore, but when it works, it can be good. That does it for the 27 spells. We're left with 4 creatures and 3 planeswalkers. Deck seemed affordable up to this point, right? Yeah, real sorry about that. We're running 3 Chandra Flamcaller because that card is insanity in this deck. Her middle ability triggers Sphinx's tutelage like crazy. Her last ability can board wipe if we need it. She's the perfect walker for this deck and there's honestly no replacement for her at all. Not one, she's just too good. Almost like she's made for this kind of strategy. That 0 ability though, so brutal. Our only creature playset, Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. Yep, I'm sure that's the final nail in the coffin for a lot of you, but I really can't avoid playing it. I tried. I really did. He's too good. It's why he's so expensive. This is a spell deck. Jace is amazing with spells. On his flip side, +1 slows the clock, -3 lets you grab any of your spells in the yard. That's more card draw, more removal. Your entire deck of spells, way too good to ignore. If by some miracle you do get to -9, that does synergize with your win condition, but it honestly doesn't matter. It's really the card filtering on the front side that triggers the tutelage, and the spell recursion on the back side that give your spells double value. Jace is stupidly powerful, and again, another card that's really hard to replace in a deck like this. I'm sorry. Let's talk gameplay then sideboard. Okay, you're basically playing this like a control deck because that's what you are. Your goal is to land tutelage, then draw all of the cards while not dying to your opponent's pressure. To do that, use your removal early and often. Since your deck is so reliant on filtering through cards, you don't want to leave any untapped mana each turn. It's about efficiency. If you want to be efficient, you cast whatever you got when you got it. Use your card draw spells until you find tutelage. Once you do, try not to use them until tutelage is online. After that, just protect your life total and let the grind begin. Your hope is that you can remove most early threats, stemming the bleeding long enough to stabilize. Taking 2 to 3 damage per turn is fine for a while. Your life is a resource, use it. Just some thoughts. Sideboard, need additional early game protection? Thing in the Ice is an almost guaranteed bomb. You can get rid of 4 counters without even thinking about it. Best part, your opponent's removal isn't going to be in game 2 at all. You don't really run creatures. Thing in the Ice has a good chance of sticking around for a long time. It's a great card. Fevered Visions is another neat include. It isn't Monastery Siege or Dictate of Kruphix from the last iteration of Tutelage, but it does the job just fine. It'll draw you cards and get you triggers. Sure, it'll draw your opponent cards too, but come on, you're playing the Tutelage. This is especially effective against control decks that don't play out their hands, an alternate win con. Negate is great against enchantment removal, so is Dispel, worth playing both against control, worth playing at least one against company decks just in case. Another Kozilek's return is probably a good idea for the human decks. If you find yourself in slower matchup, Pyromancer's Goggles can be good, but honestly you don't need it game 1. Your deck needs to be much faster than the Goggles allows you to be. You aren't playing the classic blue-red control deck, you're way deeper than that. Goggles is a sideboard card I think, especially in the current meta, but it's a judgment call, do what feels right. What do you think? Do you like the new Tutelage deck? I think it's hilarious. Despite the fact that it includes a few high-priced cards, the strategy's awesome, the Tutelage is awesome. I'm glad something like this can exist and actually play decently well against the field. Did I mention that? Yeah, the deck isn't even half bad competitively. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any ideas on how to make the deck better, please share. It's what we do here. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. You can get the namesake enchantment Sphinx's Tutelage for a solid $2. It may seem high to you, but the card is in high demand and relatively low supply for some reason. Grab a few copies and go nuts. Want a card that can go in the classic blue-red control deck? Wandering Fumarole. This thing is great at only $3. Definitely seems like a good price to buy in at. If you need some copies, this is more than fair. Click the links and enjoy.
Wow.